The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is too overwhelming. It's arguably one of the best in the franchise, just look at the reviews, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have faults. Before I get into that, let's start with open world games and how they go wrong. Open world games have been around for a while now, but I grew up playing games like Grand Theft Auto and Elder Scrolls. San Andreas and Oblivion were, and are to this day, some of my favorite games. I still occasionally replay them. There's something different about having a whole world to explore rather than individual levels. It's almost as if the world feels alive, with people and activities littered throughout. It goes without saying that open worlds change gaming for the better. There was suddenly a reason to be a completionist besides collecting every star in Mario 64. Hey, a star! Exploring became fun. It mattered. You could find side quests that reward you with new gameplay features, or cosmetics, participate in minigames, and even more. Today, open world games are some of the best selling of all time. So what could possibly be wrong with them? Sometimes the world can be too overwhelming to the point of not respecting your time. Some games lack story progression between side quests or optional missions. Others require exploration to find the best gear. Yeah, this experience is rewarding, but it also takes time. Some of Skyrim's best weapons are hiding in caves or the reward for completing complex quest lines. That's not to say these quests aren't fun. They are, but they also leave you wondering where to go next. Sure, you know where to go for the main quest, and you could do it, but you stumbled across a new point of interest. Best to do it now, right? Otherwise you might forget about it later, and who knows, miss out on a great weapon. These experiences are difficult for someone with a low attention span. Where was I going again? Oh yeah, to do the next story mission. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are some of the worst offenders here. And although they have a lot of content to explore, majority of it exists outside of the main storyline. Either you find it yourself, or you look up guides. Another example of this is Elden Ring, where everything is hidden. If you just stuck to the story in that game and didn't explore every corridor, you would be massively unprepared to deal with the next boss. Which, by the way, isn't marked. You have to find it, and you won't know you did until you're dead. Some people will say that's just the Souls experience, and it is, but it's also one of the reasons why Elden Ring became one of the fastest selling games in the franchise. It did the same thing for Zelda too. In fact, Miyazaki even said he was inspired by Zelda when building the game. All of this is to say that Elden Ring is a very fun game, but it's easy to get lost in. Tears of the Kingdom is the worst offender here because it takes sandbox elements to the next level, dropping you into the main story with absolutely no guidance. You have the choice to go to any temple or any region, but the game refuses to guide you there. Well, you better explore. Have fun! Of course, for most people to complete the story, it's mandatory to do shrines to increase your health and stamina. If you want good equipment, you'll have to go even further out of the way. Breath of the Wild had the same problem, but Tears of the Kingdom added two new elements, the sky and the depths. There are islands to explore in the sky and an entire world hidden below the map. Oh, and that's without the mini side quests. You can see how the sheer amount of content can quickly become overwhelming, and that's the problem with the sandbox nature of these games. For most people, Tears of the Kingdom isn't doing anything wrong. The new content is a welcome addition, the cherry on top of an already perfect formula. And if you're in this camp, that's fine. Most people probably are. Instead, this video is the voice of someone getting older who either can't find the time to play video games, or is losing interest. I'm not sure where I stand on that spectrum, but I do find it harder to enjoy AAA games the way that I used to. I first noticed this with Hogwarts Legacy, another great game and even potential Game of the Year contender. I liked that game a lot, but I couldn't bring myself to complete it. Instead, it sits on Steam with 6 hours played, waiting for my return. And the day may come when I decide to complete it. But first, I've got to make my way through Tears of the Kingdom.